Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for this extra video on my Vinyl Healing channel on YouTube. My name is Dr. Candida Schwartz. I am a naturopathic doctor as well as intuitive healer. And I wanted to jump on today because today would have been my mom's 87th birthday. And she passed away a little over a couple of years ago. If you're interested in hearing more, there is my Mother's Day. Are you struggling? For everyone struggling. It's another video where I talk a little bit more about it. But today would have been her birthday. And it's hard. I think it'll probably always be hard. You know, grief is a funny thing. It's always complicated. It's always multi-layered. It's always multi-factorial, depending on what kind of a grief it is, the relationship you have with the person, how they died, how long it's been, and where you're at in your process around grief. And so I wanted to jump on because between the death of my mom and my brother, and I lost 4 babies, between all of those, it's like there are so many trigger days throughout the year. They're definitely lumped. Like there are certain months where a lot of stuff happened, and I'm sure that's connected to like my astrology or something, or just, you know, where I'm at and where I've been at different points of my life. But I know that there are so many people out there that are struggling on these kind of death anniversaries or holiday anniversaries or birthday anniversaries that are really triggering around grief and heartbreak and loss. And even if your triggers aren't necessarily about somebody dying, but there was a breakup or a separation and you're just not in that person's life anymore and it's still traumatic for you, this video will also help, I hope. So what I'd like to talk about today is emotional freedom technique. I know I've done it in a couple of past videos. I know I did it in the gut video, I believe, and the Mother's Day video. No, I did it in the Mother's Day video. So you might want to check that out. I'll leave it in a link below. But emotional freedom technique is a way of processing your emotions through the different acupressure and acupuncture points. So we have an experience or we're feeling a feeling. And what do you do with it? You can sit there and wallow in it. You could let it break you down, like break your hope, break your spirit. And those two things might be part of the process that you need to go through. You might need your wallowing phase. You might need your, I'm angry at the world, I'm angry at the divine, I'm angry at God, I'm angry at the heavens. Why did you take my mom? Why did you take my brother? Why? Why are all these people dying from coronavirus? Why, you know, just all of it, right? Veterans Day is tomorrow, so wars. You know, there could be some anger that gets triggered there. And you could need those parts of anger and sadness and wallowing as part of your, part of the stages of grief that you're personally going through. And whether your loss is under a year old fresh or whether it's 15 years old, you know, it doesn't really matter. If you miss somebody, if you can't touch them, if you can't give them a hug and say happy birthday. And in those days where there was trauma, if the cells of your body, the memory that's trapped in your body, in your brain, in your psyche, in your physical, in your heart, in your spirit, in your soul, and you're just remembering how awful that day was or how awful that moment was, it can devastate you. It can, for me, it's made me feel like internal bleeding, like I'm broken forever. Like I had to go through that phase. I'm not completely sure that I'm out of that phase, but my mom was old and she was very, very sick. She had advanced Alzheimer's. She had multiple myeloma, which is a malignant tumor in the blood. She was very, very sick. That being said, I wanted to keep caretaking her. She had become my baby and she was also my mom, and I wanted to have her. Like, I kept saying I wanted just a couple more years, and that would have, she still would have been with me at this point. It would have defied all the odds, but that's what I wanted. That's what I prayed for. So with my brother, he was killed within 20 seconds on a work accident. And it was very shocking. He was 53 years old. This was 4 years ago. And, or almost 4 years ago. And it's very different. The relationship between a sibling is really different than the relationship between a mom and a daughter. So these anniversaries, like I said, they can be just so triggering. And so one thing that I had to decide on after mom died, and like I said, I talk about this more in the Mother's Day video, but one thing that I had to decide was, where am I at with my belief cycle, with my trust, with my faith, with what's next for me? Why did my mom have to get sick? Lots of moms are healthy until they're 90. Why? Why did my brother have to die so young? Why couldn't my babies have been healthy and survived? And so I didn't want all of those experiences to happen in vain. I don't know how else to explain that, but I wanted to take those experiences and translate them for my patients and my clients to help support anything, in any way that I possibly could, because inevitably they're going to be going through their grief, their loss, their trauma. So really quickly, before we start the emotional freedom technique, the EFT, the tapping, this is one of my pieces that I made in my jewelry line on Etsy. This one's hematite. It's very grounded, very grounding. It's very protective. So you notice it's over my heart, because that's right now, like this morning I woke up and I was like this, and I just was so there was just that tension, that tightness in my chest. I wanted to go wake up my mom. I wanted to bring her breakfast in bed like I would have years ago, like I always have, right? So this grounds my heart. It helps me process my emotions through my body, through the cells of my body, through my entire being. And it helps me ground so I can be held by Mother Earth, who is such a sweet, unconditional source of love and protection, and Mama, because I don't have a mama anymore, right? So any of the darker stones, obsidian, onyx is a really good one, shungite, black tourmaline, those are all, even garnet, the dark red, can be really helpful. Rose tourmaline, which is my wedding stone. Very different ways of grounding, but all very helpful. So reds, dark stones, those would be really helpful for you today. And the flower essence that I would recommend for today, that I'm currently taking, is Star of Bethlehem. It just helps you regain faith and trust and hope as you connect to Spirit or God or the divine or whatever you believe is out there, holding you and helping you and supporting you and giving meaning to the various things that happen in our lives. Death is natural, and people go when they're ready to go, right? We don't really know, but in my belief, we go when we're ready for whatever reason. And I think throughout our lives, we each have pockets where we know we can go. If we're ready, we can go. Various things happen. So, emotional freedom technique. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to tap, and you're going to repeat after me, and you're going to follow my tapping. But right now, even though I'm feeling so much grief, I deeply and completely accept myself. Kind of take a deep breath and gauge on a scale of 1 to 5, where are you at with your grief? Is it a screaming 5 right now? Is it a screaming like 35? Is it a 3? Is it a 1? Right now, I'm feeling probably a 4. So even though I am feeling so much grief right now, I deeply and completely accept myself. Just take some deep breaths into those feelings that are coming up. Even though I feel so much loss, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I am so sad and my mind is going a million miles an hour, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though my various perceptions around what's happened recently or years ago, even though they're causing me so much grief right now, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I am mourning and it's heavy, I deeply and completely accept myself. Keep breathing. Even though the sadness and the pain that I feel haunts me, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I just miss my mom and my brother, friends, and so many other people, and you can incorporate whoever you want right now, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though this grief can paralyze me, I deeply and completely accept myself. So much grief. So much turmoil. So much conflict. So much sadness. So much desperation. All of the sadness and fear. Any piece of myself that I might be blaming myself or others. All this anger and hopelessness. I deeply and completely accept myself. Because I know the truth. And I see and I witness the reality. And I honor every soul and the choices that they make. I know that I can grow from this experience. I can lesson and understand. I can love with all my heart. The person I lost, the people I've lost, the people that are still here. And I can keep cultivating that self-love and self-comfort. And I can reach out when I need help. But I'm very capable of processing through this grief. In body, mind, and in spirit. And tap your karate chop point. Where are you at? I'm at a 1. It's pretty good. One thing about Mom is that she was gifted a beautiful gift from her mom, and they were great bakers and great cooks. And I was really fortunate to pick up that gene. So I would have baked her a cake. And so I baked a little teeny little petite little 5-inch cake, 6-inch cake that my family will enjoy today from Mom. And we will wish her well. My brother, we're all chocoholics thanks to Mom. This is a chocolate mint. It's actually vegan and gluten-free, and it's actually the only sugar that's there is that I used is coconut sugar for the recipe. You can head over to my blog on my website. I'll leave a link below. But we love chocolate, and so this is kind of a healthier way to enjoy something really rich and moist and fudgy and delicious, and celebrate her and honor her, and think about Frank, because my brother, he would have loved to have a slice also. And for Memorial Day tomorrow, I'll probably bring a little slice, and I'll enjoy it at his grave. And that's how I'm coping today. A little bit more self-care, a lot more food. We're Italian, so we're going to eat a lot today. That's where I'm at. So I hope that this helped. I have lots of different ideas to help with coping with grief and sadness and various, mind, body, spirit healing with naturopathic medicine as well as energy medicine. So if you enjoyed this, give me a like, a subscribe, turn on the notification bell, share this with your friends, anybody who's struggling. I'm thinking of everybody who is missing somebody, and I'm holding you all in my heart. All right, thank you.